once again. Here we are in the opening week of the 2024 season. Inside the headset, we're on the campus of Oakland High School. I've got with me the four-time state championship coach for the Oakland Patriots, head coach Kevin Creasy. How you doing?
Doing good, Stuart.
Well, everything's moving in the right direction, and it won't be long that Independence and you'll be loading up the equipment and heading across town. Of course, we were discussing it before we kicked off and everything. I haven't really, Coach Creasy, said anything about the opponent because the video you really get, it's vanilla, isn't it? When you start looking at the scrimmages and things, I mean, do you really have a whole lot to work with other than you get to look at the quarterback a little bit and the running back and their defense?
Yeah, it's, kind of tough. Week one, I got some scrimmage tape, and, we swapped film. Their coach, he's a heck of a guy. Coach Stidham has always done a good job and everywhere he's been. And his D coordinator, Taylor Burks, used to be over here. He coached with me my first year over at Oakland. So they got great staff and great history over there. Independence has always been, one of those teams in Williams County willing to play us. And we played them before Coach got there. And, like I said, week one, you just kind of worry about yourself, and we've kind of broke them down a little bit, know they got a 6'6" quarterback over there and running an option, hard to bring him down for sure. And, you look on defense, they got a big outside linebacker, he's like 6'5". So, they're definitely got some kids that look good. And, on film, they've played good. They've played some really quality opponents out of Nashville, so they've seen speed. And, we see how they handle the speed and all that. So it should be a good game week one.
And you're thinking if they stay healthy and progress like you saw just so far, they've got a chance to make a lot of noise as the season progresses.
Yeah, you look at what they did last year, went on a run, and every game they had was a nail biter, came down to the wire. So that usually reflects on coaching.
And that builds confidence. If you can win those ones like that, then you think if you get in that predicament again, I'm going to win again.
Yep, no doubt.
Well, heading in, let's start on the offensive side of the ball. Let's talk about returners and then maybe some new additions and some things that have happened as the Oakland Patriots. We'll start over there. And you do handle the offense for the Oakland Patriots. And we were discussing before we get started that, since your coaching career, you've created somewhere around or implemented, as you would say, over 1,400 different plays where you've drawn them up from certain schemes that you set, whether out of a wing T formation, a spread formation, or whatever. But as you head into it and everything, what's the Oakland Patriots going to look like 2024? And as you said, you've implemented already 100 new plays and new concepts, and what's that going to look like?
Well, I've had help. I've got a new offense coordinator helping me out. A guy that played for me, Eric Vito. And so he's giving me new ideas and new looks. And really, there's not a lot of new plays. There's a dozen concepts, and we can mix and match them and, window dress them all we want. But Coach Vito's done a good job of giving me some good ideas. And, with the kind of weapons we've got on offense, we need to kind of spread it around a little bit. Give different guys the ball and make sure that we've got some plays to get them the ball, and DeJuan Morris, coming off a great year up for Mr. Football last year. He's having a good offseason so far, expecting a lot of big things out of him. Also, T.T. Hill's back, had a great sophomore year here. Not sure about his junior year, but sophomore year for us, he's played great. Did great so far, moving back and expecting big things out of him. And
a game changer. A guy can get the ball and change the game, take a little pressure off Morris.
Yeah, he's really fast, and, it helps us with Craig Tutt. Craig Tutt's one of our best defensive players, getting a lot of attention as just a junior, but he's also one of our best ball carriers. So, it's several people in the backfield. Avery Hainsworth coming into his senior year. Matthew Moore's going to be a junior. He was one of our best freshmen that's coming off a knee injury. So he's going to be a junior. Lost him after the Independence game last year. Got several people in the backfield that can carry the load, and they've had a great offseason. That's the biggest thing is they've all gotten bigger, faster, stronger. They look more like football players. Will Millsap's had a great offseason for us. He's kind of the slot receiver, running back. Great things out of the younger class too. So we've got backups that we can put in case we do have some guys that are injured. And there's a number 11 you need to keep your eye on. All right. He goes by one name, Bama. And whenever you got one name, that's always good. If you can just play off of that, that's usually a good thing. Bama's going to make some noise this year. People are going to like seeing him out there. He's in at 133. We're trying to get him up, to 150, maybe 155 pounds. But it's hard to put weight on him. I think he's going to have a breakout year this year.
When we talk about the athleticism you like to see on that offensive line to get those playmakers in, offensive linemen have just changed so much over the years. Now you want them long and lean and be able to maneuver around. And what kind of experience are you going to have when we go to war on Friday with those guys?
Yeah, we've lost a few starting offensive linemen. We've had them transfer out. That's unfortunate. Lost a couple senior linemen, but we only have one senior offensive lineman, and that's Isaiah Kirk. So he's kind of the anchor of the offensive line. Lost some good guys last year to graduation. A tight end H-back combination, that you don't see come through very often. If you look at what we had at H-back, Marcus Bullard's as tough as they come, and our tight end ends up signing with Liberty. Deuce Hewitt, you don't have those kind of kids come through very often. So we got a lot to replace up front, but like I said, our guys are working hard for Coach Edie, and hopefully we'll get that thing ready to roll by Friday.
Flip the side of the ball, we move over to defense, and you still love defense, and you still got your hand in on it sometimes, and started in the industry coaching defensive backs. That's where you started and everything, but how you think you're going to play a little Iron Man ball? You're going to run a couple of those guys that are on offense? Will they flip and play defense a little bit?
There's a few. We try to let everybody go one way, but there's some guys on defense that, would definitely help us on offense. And so we've got some guys going both ways. Usually we don't do that, but, we're kind of short on some numbers at some positions. So
until maybe it develops out of the JV. I mean, you're leaving that as an opportunity. Hey, if some of you guys can work and move into that slot, you're excited about seeing somebody come up ahead.
Yeah, we normally move our freshmen up. Our best 11 freshmen come up after Halloween, But this year we've already brought 2 freshmen up. That tells you a little bit of how we're kind of thin at certain positions, but they're going to be 2 really good freshmen. And then you look at Quentin Norfolk. He's a guy who plays defensive line, but he'll come over and play tight end for us, and he's our punter. He's our snapper on extra points. So, he's one of those do-it-all kind of guys that's helped us out. Linebacking core's looking as good as ever. Caleb Ellison, the quarterback on defense last year, he returns for his senior year. He's committed to Furman. It just tells you, Furman's a playoff team and 1AA, but then at the same time, you got to be a freaking genius pretty much to go to Furman. So that's the kind of guy we got running defense. And then, of course, his coach and coordinator, you got to love David Watson. He's as smart as they come as well. So got a good coach on that side of the ball. It's kind of getting everybody coached up and ready to roll for the season.
Last but not least, special teams.
Special teams, graduated one of the best kickers in school history. He and his brother, tremendous duo. The Taylor brothers are going to be missed. And right now we've got a competition. Got 4 kickers from 4 different grades, and we're expecting big things out of those guys. Competition makes the world go round. And so
when we talk about the range still there with these kickers that are coming up?
Well, it's looking like, one guy might be better at, field goals, and one guy might be better at kicking off, and one guy might be a better punter.
Oh, okay.
And then one guy might be better at onside kicks.
Okay.
So, they've all got their specialty, but we're trying to get them all to be, the best all around they can be, and, they're working with some guys on the side too, but at the end of the day, we're trying to coach them up as good as we can, and,
So that's a work in progress, special teams.
Definitely a work in progress. The battery has not the same as it was last year. The only thing consistent, Creasy's the holder, and that hadn't changed.
Last but not least, and I don't want to, I do want to let the community know you could always use some extra money, because here in the next couple of weeks you are loading guys up on airplanes. You're going to be moving equipment. You're going to, total tab, shoot us a figure. What do you think in the total tab just to pull this off?
It's bad. It's bad. I hate to say.
Okay.
I mean, it's north of 20. It's probably north of 30. It's a pretty expensive trip because it's going to be a two-nighter. You know, the trip to Mississippi was one night. Indianapolis was one night. Both of those were 17, 20,000. But this is going to be the up end of 20, maybe low end of 30. And luckily, like I said, we put that out on Twitter, and we've had some just random alumni, you know, fans of not just Oakland football, just fans of Murfreesboro football, just reach out and cut us a check. And we could use some more of those, by the way. But they're like, you know, listen, y'all are brave enough to hit the road and play a state champ out of, you know, Texas, a state champ out of Indiana, a state champ out of Mississippi. You know, you're representing us, and you're representing us the right way. Win or lose, you play the game the right way. You know, you're a tough team, and we like that. And they just write a good note, send us a check, man. It's happened more than once, and like I said, we could use it a few more times because it is an expensive trip, but it's also, you know, a memory these guys are going to have.
Absolutely,
Coach. You know, that's the thing about it. We'd love to play somebody right up the road. There's plenty of teams between here and Dallas, Texas, that we could probably schedule.
Here in Antioch. Here in Antioch, there's plenty of teams.
Somewhere in Middle Tennessee, I'm sure there's a shorter bus ride.
Right.
But definitely looking forward to it. Like I said, some guys are flying, some guys are riding a bus 10 hours. At the end of the day, we just hope we all get there on time and get safe and make sure that we play well and, you know, try to be injury free, learn a lot from it, and come back. You know, a good thing is it's Labor Day weekend, so, you know, it's a little extra day to prepare.
Well, I'm excited for you all getting to go and you know, take our brand of football and what we do. I love watching it. I've been a part of it for 24 years and running around here in this county, and love watching the kids get out and perform and compete. And I've always thought it's one of the best places to play. I mean, if you just want a little bit of a different style, I mean, but it's kind of a homey feeling here in this county. We still got about 370,000 people. It's a little rough to get around, but somehow or another, if you leave the house early enough and you really love the sport, I tend to you used to leave and I used to could leave and get the broadcast set up at like 5 o'clock. Now that's moved to 4. I mean, I've lost a whole hour just trying to, you know, get from one spot of town to the other here locally, but either way. Well, Oakland Patriot fans, Friday night, y'all get up, gather up, go over to Independence High School. That kickoff's at 7 o'clock. Y'all be there.